Hey everyone, tonight let's talk about what the research and reports are saying about the future of AI and the future of jobs. So we know that AI is changing every 5 seconds. And so it's important that we keep pace as much as we can, right? Which we can only do with the help of the Holy Spirit. So the concern about jobs not existing in the future, even though that is a real concern, there are jobs that will exist in the very near future, right? The challenge will be whether or not we all have the skills that these jobs require. So let's dig into some of the data. Welcome to another episode of the Holy Politician Podcast. Dr. John C. Lennox, who is a British emeritus professor of mathematics and philosophy, he's also widely recognized as a theologian who debates the well-known atheist Richard Dawkins. He says this in his book 2084, quote, "Throughout history, industrial revolutions have seen machines replace humans doing manual things. The AI revolution will increasingly see machines replace humans doing thinking things at all levels and therefore threatens many more kinds of jobs. Truer words were never spoken." So before tractors and mechanical harvesters, you had large numbers of people, aka farm workers, that use their hands to do things like plowing fields, planting crops, harvesting by hand. And then there are many repetitive physical tasks such as welding, cutting, painting that were replaced by automated machinery. So what once needed humans, now machinery is doing the work. And then you've got bulldozers and cranes and excavators that are replacing much of the human strength that was once required to do things like dig large amounts of earth and to lift the earth. People no longer have to do that, which is good because that is back-breaking work, right? But the point that Dr. Lennox is making in his quote is that we are living in a complete paradigm shift. AI is an intelligence, right? It does the thinking things for us. And so it really is supplementing things that humans should be doing on a normal basis, which is human reasoning and thinking and cognition. But it's doing these things and it's depleting jobs where normally humans would do these things that require critical thinking, analytical skills, or rote tasks that are normally performed in a people environment, right? Even some judgment-related tasks. And so this is bigger than we understand and that we could fully wrap our head around. And so tonight, I just want to lay out some jobs that they are saying are at stake and what specific skill sets we're going to need, or not that we're going to need in the future, that we need to start applying right now. And so the World Economic Forum, they have a future of jobs report in 2025, and their data shows that 94% of companies operating in the United States expect AI to transform their operations by 2030. And so that's in 3.5 years, right? So whether you personally like AI or don't like AI, whether you're ready for it or not, it's going to not just affect your job, it's going to transform it, completely change what it looks like. And so if you're not prepared for that, I don't care if your job is giving you training or skills. You need to find your own training and your own skills. And a lot of it is free online right now. You could pull up a YouTube video. You could pull up training from any number of these artificial intelligence juggernauts are providing free tools and free training online, right? So you can believe that work in 3 years is not going to look the same. It's going to be completely transformed. McKinsey, which is a US-based large consulting company, estimates that by 2030, the US could require almost 12 million job transitions. And an occupational or a job transition doesn't just mean, oh, let me just go find a different job at another company where I'm doing the same work. That's not what it means. It means that the work that you used to do or are currently doing is declining. And so you need to learn to do something different, right? And that's 12 million people that will have to learn to do something different. Obviously, that's an estimate, but that's 7.5% of the workforce, right? And then they go on to say that people who are earning the lowest wages are 14 times more likely to need to make this shift. And so if you're a low wage earner, it's not looking too good for you, right? And so this is people that are already struggling to make ends meet. Just imagine what it's going to look like for them in the next 3 years. And so the question is, are their jobs preparing them? Or if their jobs aren't preparing them, who is going to help prepare them? They're going to have to prepare themselves. So this begs the question then, well, where are the jobs going? What jobs are relevant? And I've seen Elon Musk ask this. I've seen, the creator of ChatGPT, Sam Altman. A lot of these people are asking this, and they fundamentally, they kind of skirt around this question, right? But according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, that is projecting between 2024 and 2034, the following jobs will be in decline. This is customer service representatives, legal secretaries, administrative assistants, people that do procurement processing, procurement clerks. So a lot of what people used to do in the past, if you were a legal secretary, if you were what is the word that I'm looking for? If you were a paralegal, if you're a secretary, if you are a clerk, if you're doing any type of significant administrative task that AI can do, if you are an accountant, that is an administrative task, right? Claude and ChatGPT are doing accountant work. They're doing legal work. They are doing all of this work, and we already know customer service has been phasing out. That's been happening for years, right? It used to go to the Philippines. Now it's just, sometimes it's more robotic. You have to go through a number of screens just to get a human being, and then you're not getting a human being at the end. So a lot of these jobs we've already seen on the decline. So let's talk about the jobs that will be on the rise. So lots of techie jobs, right? Data scientists, information security analysts, operation research analysts, computer information research scientists. I don't even know what all these people do. I mean, I can glean that these people have a lot to do with, obviously, the facilitation and stewardship of artificial intelligence. We know that data centers are going to be built, so they're going to need physical labor, people to do that. But these are not the only jobs. These are the jobs that will be on the rise. There are other jobs and skill sets, which I'm going to talk about now, that you're going to need, right? So what should you be doing? Or what should you be getting better at? Well, according to the same McKinsey research, there is going to be a demand for social and emotional skills. That is music to my ears. It's music to my ears, because within this category of social and emotional skills, they're talking about skill sets like interpersonal empathy, leadership, adaptability, discernment, creative thinking, problem solving, judgment, relationship building. There are skill sets that AI can still not serve that requires the soul of a human being. And so these are skill sets that can be learned. These are learned traits and characteristics, and you're going to need them to be able to facilitate the jobs of 2030 and potentially beyond. Healthcare, obviously that's another big one that is not going away, because we have a disproportionate aging populace. And so if you're somebody that's ever wanted to do anything with helping the elderly or helping people with disabilities or helping any form of healthcare, that's another group of jobs that is not going away, right? And so what can you take away from this? There's a lot of things, right? Number one, start to learn how to use some of these tools. I remember when email came around. Yeah, I'm that old. When email first broke out, it was like the 1990s. And I remember my grandmother, Grandma Dolly, she refused to use email, just absolutely would not use email. And I didn't think, I thought my grandmother might have been joking, but she was so serious about it. I don't think she had an email address to her passing, and she passed away a few years ago. But this is, the 2020s, and she's not using email. And so you don't be like Grandma Dolly. I love her. Such an amazing grandma, so loving and caring and just generous and kind. But she refused to move with the cheese. Learn to use a technology. Do not be intimidated by it. Use it for more than just chat GPT prompts. Figure out how to intersect it in your day-to-day functions and use it as an assistant. Use it as kind of like a tool that would help you save time and help you save money. So learn to use this technology. Number 2, develop some of the skills that this technology cannot replace, which is emotional intelligence, learning how to manage conflicts, learning how to build relationships with people, discernment, which if you have the Holy Spirit, you have some discernment, and learn how to be more creative, meaning, what is your purpose? What is that thing that God called you to do? Well, apply creativity to that, right? We serve a creative God, and He's given you creativity and He's given you purpose. Number 3, become a lifelong learner, right? The days of saying, well, I ought to receive my degree, I've got all the training I need, that's not the case here. You know what? I have a PhD, and that is a terminal degree, and never would I imagine that I would continue to press myself because I needed to learn new skills to be able to survive with the times. But you do. I'm pushing myself to continue to learn this technology because I know that it's not just going to bless me, but it's going to bless other people. So we need to do what? We need to pivot and we need to prepare. Preparation is not fear, it is wisdom. It's absolute wisdom. God has a plan for you. And part of that plan is for you not to get lost in the sauce and get left behind, right? You don't think that God knew that this AI revolution was taking place, that it was going to take place in the 21st century? He knew. He planned it. Before the beginning of time, God knew. And so He had a plan for you within this current age that we're living. So ask God about what His plans are and go about executing them. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next podcast.